You might not realize this, but one of the most accurate signs that I've found for living a long, active, and truly clear life isn't something you'll see in any lab test or written in your genes, or even in the latest health food craze. Nope, no cigarette. It could be hiding right there in your everyday movements, in the rhythm of your walk, the way you let out a full, hearty laugh, how easily you recall a dear friend's face from years ago. Nope, no cigarette. It could be hiding right there in your everyday movements, in the rhythm of your walk, the way you let out a full, hearty laugh, how easily you recall a dear friend's face from years ago. Many times, haven't you, that after a certain age, so much is already decided. Our genes, our family history, doctors, bless their hearts, sometimes make it sound like it's all pre-written for us. Like some folks are just lucky enough to have a long-lived parent, and others, well, they just weren't so fortunate. But I'm here to tell you that's simply not the whole story. Modern science is actually telling me something very clear. Our genetics are just the starting point. The rest, my dear, is what we build on that foundation ourselves. And the beautiful truth is, you can start building, rebuilding, or adding to that foundation at any age. Speaking of connection, I'd truly love to hear from you. It always brightens my day to know who's watching. Please take a moment and drop your name and the city you're tuning in from in the comments below. And if you're enjoying what I'm sharing, I'd be so grateful if you'd consider subscribing. But your support really helps me share these important insights with even more people. Take Professor Linda Fried from Columbia University, for example. She's been studying people who live to be incredibly old all over the world, and she came to such an unexpected realization. The folks who are living the longest lives, they're not all looking like Olympic athletes or strict vegans. Often they're just regular people. But there are these subtle, almost hidden details that they all share, and these details aren't what you might expect. It could be something as simple as the way you laugh, or the speed at which you stroll down the sidewalk, or even how many old friends you've kept in your life. It's these small, seemingly insignificant things that really add up and predict whether someone is going to live a long, vibrant life. And here's what's truly amazing. So much of this you can cultivate within yourself. You can literally start today calmly without any big heroic efforts, just at your own pace. And I promise you, you might start feeling a real difference in just a week. There's one particular quality that researchers notice in long livers time and time again. It's not flashy and it doesn't get doctors jumping up and down, but it's mentioned in almost every single study. It's memory, yes, that very memory we often complain about, especially as the years go by. If you find yourself effortlessly recalling little details, that's a wonderful sign. For instance, can you remember the name of your very first school teacher? Or that specific song that played on the radio when you were standing at the bus stop, all drenched in the rain back in your younger days? Or what that special mug looked like? The one your mother used when she brought you tea when you were feeling under the weather? This isn't just sentimentality, bless your heart. These are strong, resilient connections in your brain that are still working beautifully. Why is this so incredibly important, you ask? Because as we get older, our brains have a tendency to become a little more self-contained, shall we say. It's often easier for them to just check out than to keep soaking up and holding on to all those intricate details. But when you notice the fresh scent of apples at the grocery store, and you recognize the face of someone you haven't seen in 30 years, and on top of that, you can even remember what you talked about with them, that means your brain is still wide open to the world. Professors at Yale University have actually shown that this kind of vivid memory is a really reliable sign of cognitive resilience, and that's a quality they find most often in people who've sailed right past their 90s. I remember one of my sweet subscribers, Robert from California, shared this with me. I'm tittish eye, but I can still remember the smell of the redwood trees in the forest where I camped back in Loge E, and that feeling just keeps me going. If you want to strengthen your memory, don't just reach for those crossword puzzles. Instead, practice being truly attentive to details. Simply tell yourself about your day, really focusing on the little things, and you'll soon realize you're not just growing older, you're living more fully and consciously. When your mind is truly alive and engaged, your body just naturally starts to follow its lead. You can even see it in your walk. Now, you might not have ever noticed this about yourself, but if you tend to stroll down the street a little faster than most people, not rushing, but with a real inner spark and purpose, that's no accident. That's a strong sign that your whole system is still in great shape. The pace of your walk is actually one of the most accurate indicators of your physical age, not just what your driver's license says, but your real age. Researchers at the University of Pittsburgh compared the walking speed of over San Ling people aged Liu Stawar and older. And what they found was truly fascinating. Those who moved at a brisker pace lived on average by years longer. It wasn't because they were athletes or on some super strict diet. It was simply because their bodies still had this incredible system working beautifully, the one responsible for endurance and rhythm. There's a logical beauty to this, isn't there? A quick, steady walk requires your heart, lungs, muscles, and coordination to all work together seamlessly. But most importantly, it requires, if you're walking with confidence and a clear stride, it means you have a goal. Maybe it's just to get to the local bakery for some warm, fresh bread, or to make sure you catch my favorite morning show. And having a goal, my dear, that's what truly distinguishes someone who is living from someone who is simply existing. You know, I heard from a lovely subscriber named Susan from Oregon. She's Teacher Sis, and every single morning, she steps outside to walk along the peaceful trail that winds through the nearby park. I walk as if someone is waiting for me, she told me. No one is, really, but I just love the feeling that I'm moving towards something, that life is still unfolding. You don't have to push yourself to do long, challenging hikes. Just try to gently speed up your step a little bit, without any strain. Let your body feel how wonderful it is to be in motion. After just a few days, you might notice your breathing feels smoother, your mood is more balanced, and there's a brighter, livelier spark in your eyes. And when your body moves freely, another beautiful quality emerges, a lightness of spirit. People who truly know how to laugh, really laugh, aren't crushed by the weight of their years. On the contrary, they tend to live longer, fuller lives. This isn't because their lives are always easy for them, but because they have this remarkable ability to find the humor even in the face of challenges. That, my friends, is what true sense of humor is all about, not the kind you see on TV. A Norwegian study that lasted almost 2 years followed a group of adults, carefully observing their level of humor, their response to stress, and how long they lived. And what they found was truly profound. Those who could find a way to laugh even during tough times reduced their risk of premature death by a full third. This was especially true for women and for men. It also meant they were less likely to develop heart and circulatory issues. Humor isn't about avoiding reality. It's about having a powerful way to be in reality without letting it break you. If you can laugh at yourself, at a silly situation, at the unpredictable weather, or even at a long line at the grocery store, it means that you've kept this wonderful inner flexibility, this psychological, and that's what helps you truly live, not get stuck. I remember one of my wonderful subscribers, Frank from Texas, sent me a short email. He said, when the doctor gave me some difficult news, I just looked at him and said, well, at least I didn't scratch the car. Everyone in the room just burst out laughing, and suddenly all the tension melted away. And you know what? I'm still here, living my life 3 years later. To be able to laugh when you're scared, that's not being naive. It's a deep, beautiful sign of maturity and inner strength. Want to cultivate this wonderful quality in yourself? Start small. Don't get upset when you misplace your keys. Just smile when you get caught in an unexpected rain shower. Tell a little joke, even if you're not sure it'll land. You'll feel life become lighter, and your whole being will thank you for it. When you share laughter with others, it's more than just a fleeting feeling. It's a vibrant sign of life in its fullest sense. Long livers all over the world share a truly common thread. They have people in their lives they can talk to, not just to make small talk, but to be truly heard, to share their thoughts, to sit in comfortable silence, and to feel needed even by just one person, even a little bit. The longest-running study from Harvard University, which began way back in the 1900 census, proved something incredible. Strong, meaningful connections with other people are the single most powerful factor for a long life. Yes, even more powerful than things like cholesterol levels, blood pressure, or lifestyle choices alone. Loneliness, sadly, turned out to be as dangerous for our health as smoking or obesity. But a warm, reliable connection with others? That's like a built-in vaccine against aging. Why is this so powerful? Because when you're interacting with others, your brain comes alive. When someone is genuinely looking forward to seeing you, your heart works in a different way. When you feel needed by someone, you're motivated to move, to think, to choose your words. Even if it's just a simple call to your grandchild or a neighbor asking about their day. My friend Clara from New York told me I'm Loom Surjolt. Every Friday, I bake a big apple pie and take it over to my neighbors. They've been my friends for years now. We sit, we chat, we laugh. And during that time, I feel completely alive, and this isn't just a coincidence. This is an active, engaged life that actually extends itself. If you feel like you don't have much social connection right now, please don't worry. It's absolutely fixable. Why not call someone you haven't spoken to in years? Write a heartfelt card. Invite someone over for a cup of tea. It's possible that that person is just waiting for you to make the first move. And once that connection blossoms, you'll truly feel how the world around you becomes warm and vibrant again. And when you have good people in your life, you often find yourself wanting to change and grow, to try things that are a little outside our usual routine, to explore, to learn, to make mistakes, and then to try again. Curiosity isn't just for kids. It's a remarkable quality that those who live long lives keep alive longer than anyone else. And it's precisely what fuels their energy. A brain that is curious is a brain that is living. It constantly builds new connections, forming fresh, vibrant pathways between neurons, and this directly impacts how long we live. Research from University College London has shown that people who continue to learn, and engage their minds after looks have a significantly lower risk of premature death. But learning doesn't necessarily mean textbooks and classrooms. It means having a true interest in life itself. When you find yourself wanting to know how olives are harvested in Italy, or why the swallows returned earlier this year, or how to use that new video calling app on your phone, that's all growth. It doesn't have to be a huge leap, but it's always moving you forward. My dear friend Emily from Vermont wrote to me that at Cheshire she started painting with watercolors. I didn't know how to begin, she said. I bought a box of paints, watched a little video online, and just started. Now, I've even had 3 small exhibits, but the most important thing is I wake up with real interest again. To feel this kind of spark in yourself, you don't need any special talent or a grand goal. You just need to simply want to. Pick up a book on a subject you've never touched before, listen to music from a different era, or ask your grandkids to show you how that new app works. Every single one of these steps is like adding a precious drop to the vessel of your life. And the more drops you add, the longer that vessel will stay beautifully full. There's another subtle but incredibly strong sign that I often see in folks who live long lives: a deep inner freedom. Now, this isn't about being overly optimistic or naive, but rather about having the profound ability to not get stuck in old hurts, anxieties, or lingering resentments. People who live to a very old age with sharp, clear minds almost never dwell on the past. They can remember, yes, but they don't keep reliving the bitterness over and over again. This quality isn't a gift you're born with. It's the beautiful result of a conscious choice. When you maintain an interest in new experiences, just like I talked about, it becomes so much easier for you to shift your focus away from the bad. After all, to truly grasp onto the light, you first have to notice it, don't you? And those who are skilled at doing this are far less likely to fall into feelings of helplessness and that chilling inner winter. Harvard research has strongly confirmed this. Optimism isn't just a small personality trait, it's a survival factor. It's directly linked to how long we live. People who are able to see the good in things don't ignore the difficulties, but they simply don't allow those difficulties to become the very core of their reality. This mindset actually lowers stress hormones like cortisol, regulates your immune system, and even strengthens your heart and circulatory system. One of my wonderful subscribers, Carol from Arizona, told me I used to start every morning by reading the news, and my heart would just tighten up. Then I stopped. Instead, I started writing down 3 good things that happened each day. Within a month, everything changed for me. It was like a huge weight just lifted. And she's certainly not the only one. Try this simple little trick yourself. In the evening, before you go to sleep, just name 3 things you're grateful for from that day. They don't have to be grand gestures. A genuine smile you saw, the comforting smell of rain, a moment of quiet peace, that's more than enough. This practice will truly strengthen that living spark inside you. And that, my dear, is the very hidden secret to a long life. Another subtle yet incredibly consistent sign of living a long life is having a natural sleep rhythm. People who live long almost always fall asleep around the same time each night, and wake up without needing an alarm to pull them out of bed. They don't have complicated rituals or forced habits. Their bodies just know their own rhythm and don't need a jarring sound to bring them back to life. This isn't just luck, it's a clear sign that everything inside them is beautifully balanced and in tune. Studies from the Harvard Sleep Clinic have clearly shown that having a stable pattern for falling asleep and waking up, especially without external interference, is directly linked to a lower risk of dementia, heart attacks, and metabolic issues. People whose sleep comes naturally actually tend to age more slowly. Why does this work so well? Because during sleep, your body isn't just resting, it's actively repairing damage, regulating hormones, and strengthening your immune system. And when this vital process happens consistently at the same time each day, it becomes much stronger and more efficient. Your body doesn't have to waste energy constantly adjusting. Instead, it lives in harmony with its own biological clock. My friend Martha from Oklahoma wrote to me, I'm 71. I go to bed at 10 p.m. and wake up at 11 a.m. without an alarm, without rushing, and every single day I feel like I'm stronger than I thought I was. Sleep has become her true foundation, not a medication, not just a habit, but a genuine point of deep restoration. If you can't fall asleep effortlessly yet, please don't blame yourself. Start small. An hour before bed, turn off loud noises, dim the bright lights, and avoid anything stressful like the news. Just allow yourself to simply be in peace. Make this a gentle ritual. In just a week, your body will start to recognize and respond to this quiet moment. And then, mornings will transform from a struggle into a soft, clear beginning to a brand new day. But there is one more sign, a truly profound one, that you might not notice right away. It's not in your body, not in your memory, and not even in your personality. It goes much deeper, and it's almost always present in those who live long, a profound sense that you are here for a reason, that you have a why. Even if it's a small reason, even if it's invisible to others, it gives you the strength and motivation to wake up each morning. A sense of purpose and meaning in life aren't abstract ideas, believe me. Research from the University of Michigan has confirmed this. Older adults who have a clear inner why live average 2 years longer. And this is true regardless of their health, their social status, or their education level. Meaning is like fuel. Without it, even the strongest body can lose its spark. Why is this so powerful? Because having a sense of meaning gives shape and intention to every single day. It prevents your mind from falling into a void. It helps maintain your focus, your discipline, and your willpower. This purpose could be caring for your loved ones, actively participating in your grandchildren's lives, tending to a beautiful garden, or simply helping others in your community. The key is that it truly has to be your purpose, something that speaks to your heart. My friend Charles from New Mexico told me, after I retired, I just felt broken. For 2 years, I just existed. Then I started fixing up old radios for my neighbors and friends. Now I have a waiting list of projects until spring. I feel needed again. This isn't just a hobby for him. It's a deep sense of meaning, and it truly heals. If you don't have a clear purpose right now, that's perfectly okay. Start by listening to your inner voice. What calls to you? What creates a warm, stirring feeling inside, not for any reward, but simply because you want to? Even if it's just caring for a few houseplants or meticulously keeping family photo albums, that's already a path. Your purpose doesn't have to be grand, it just needs to exist. And when all these beautiful signs come together, the most important truth becomes wonderfully clear. A long life doesn't start with complicated recipes or medical formulas. It begins with a choice, a simple, quiet, profoundly human choice, the decision to live. To live not as a mere continuation of yesterday, but as an exciting, open possibility for something new, even if you've already accumulated many wonderful years. All 9 of these signs I've talked about today, they're not things you're just born with. They are qualities that you can absolutely cultivate and strengthen at any point in your life, because life isn't a rigid mechanism. It's a beautiful flowing movement, and in this incredible movement, age isn't a barrier at all. In fact, it's a powerful point of leverage. You've already experienced so much, you've learned to listen to your own inner wisdom, and that very journey makes you far stronger than you might even realize. Now, before I sign off, if you found this helpful, do consider giving me a like. Your support means the world, and it helps me share these important insights with even more people. And I'd just love to hear from you. Which of these signs resonated with you the most, or perhaps surprised you? Please share your thoughts in the comments below. I'm so eager to read them,